So it was a week of overthinking. It was a week of negativity. It was a week of self-pity. It was a week of so many other emotions which were letting me down. And I was just thinking how important a word of encouragement is to a person. And then when I started doing these podcasts, it's been in my mind for so many years now. Like, not particularly podcast, because podcast was not even a thing then. I just wanted to voice out what I feel, what I think. I'm a person who likes to voice out things and injustice and so many other aspects and areas of our lives. And when I started doing it, and I did receive encouragement from a few friends, week after week, once I started my podcast, suggesting and giving their honest feedback: do this, don't do this, try to do this. And I'm so appreciative of them. But then it just got me thinking about the people who don't encourage, who know what we are doing, and they never come forward, say a word of encouragement or give a word of encouragement or appreciation. And then you go all the time, go back to your video and see how many people have liked or how many people have commented. And when you see like 300 people have liked, but only 5 people have 300 people have viewed and only 5 people have liked, and you go like, it's like it just pulls you down. You're like that tired punctured tire, tired puncher. So it was not good. It just kept me thinking, I mean, what does it take for people to just click a button and like it? So what if they didn't like it? Maybe it was not so appealing, but as a friend, why can't they just go ahead and do it? I will improve. It's not that bad, or maybe it is, but, it was really pulling me down and got me thinking that how important it is to appreciate and, pat a person's back and say, congratulations and all the best for the future. There's so many ways you can encourage. Even if you don't like something a person or your friend or your relative or your sibling or your family member is doing, just you can. There's so many ways to. You don't have to particularly like them. You can just say in any other way to encourage. And instead of giving unsolicited advice, why don't you do that? Why don't you try doing that? Why will anybody do what you want to do? They will do what they want to do. So it's not our place to tell them what to do, what not to do, what's correct, what not's correct. That's for them to decide. Our responsibility is just go ahead and encourage and say something positive to build up that person. It's almost like a nourishment and nutrition to the body. I feel it's like giving life to a dying soul. So this past week was like that, like I shared, and just got me thinking how active I have to get to encourage people. Sometimes what you go through really teaches you a lesson and lets you improve as a person. And I was just thinking, no matter what I go through, no matter what I am going through, I'm going to go ahead and encourage another person. Sometimes maybe that person needs more than you, and sometimes maybe you need more than that person, but there comes a situation where you have to, encourage. And when you do that, it's not a loss for you. It's obviously a gain. You feel good. You feel good that you have made somebody else's day. You feel good that you're building your character as a person. So, and when I was getting a couple of not negative feedback, I should say, like things like, why do you want to do this? What's your point? People have already done this. Nothing changes. Nothing is going to change. So my point was, I don't want to change anything. It's what I want to do. I want to voice out. If it's helping anybody, even one person, fine. So these things things were also putting me down. And then I was just thinking of, King David. What if he said, Goliath, let's not, let me not use a sling and all these things, but let's just pray and, let's not create all this big scene. I mean, it would make no sense, right? The story would be a totally different story. And like David didn't decide to make peace. He decided to wage a war. So it's not all the time you have to make peace with what people say. Sometimes you have to wage war. Wage war, when I say it's not, of course, literally wage a war, but the war between your thoughts in your heart. You need to make peace by waging a war, I guess. Sometimes it's very important. So these are the things which I was going through. These are the things I think many people go through, and we just underestimate the power of encouragement, and we just cannot comprehend what a word of encouragement can do to a person. And it just doesn't matter what we are going through. It just doesn't matter. We have to just go ahead, and if jealousy and if pride of life, pride of I know it all is, stopping us from encouraging others, I think we need to pull up our socks and think twice of our behavior, and it just gets me thinking, do we have the courage